What's up, guys? I'm back with something very, very important. The topic of discussion today will be getting a woman to submit is a waste of time. This is a MGTOW breakdown, and the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I was reading an article from Marie Carie, and the article, let me get back up here. The article title was Why I Choose to Be a Submissive in My BDSM Relationship. 50 Shades of Grey is fiction, but the kinky sex in its pages are real. So basically, I want to talk about some things in this article. You already know who it is. It's the experienced optimist. The reason why I want to talk about this is because what I found out is even when a woman submits, submission doesn't change her underlying deceitful nature. And I will cover that as I read parts of this article. See, what I found out is when a man wants a woman to submit, most of the times, a nice guy, your typical nice guy, all he really wants is for the woman to act like a normal fucking human being. That's pretty much all he wants. He wants her to be nice. He wants her to be loyal. He wants her to do as she's told, not in a bossy way, but just essentially to be helpful. And the reason why he wants her to submit is because he just wants her to do things that be that nice, caring person that other people in his life are, like his friends. Like a man's friends, you don't need them to submit in order to be your friend. But a lot of men feel that women need to submit in order to just act like a regular human being. And that's the problem. You shouldn't have to have someone submit for them to act righteously, to act honestly, to have integrity, to be caring ultimately. See, the thing is with submission does not stop a woman or make her any less likely to walk out on you. So, but let me go back. It doesn't make a woman any less likely to walk out on you. It doesn't make a woman less likely to shit test you. It doesn't make a woman less likely to manipulate you. All of the negative aspects of female nature, it doesn't reduce that. Basically, you just get to a point to where when she feels like she wants to submit to you on whatever days or months, stretches that she wants to submit, she'll submit for that time. But at any time, she could flip the switch and then run out on you. So, from reading this article, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things. I'm going to demonstrate, or we're going to look at real female nature that's going to illuminate real female nature. I'm going to show you how women use their husbands and generally show a lack of respect for both their husbands and other relationships in their lives. I'm going to show you how women do not put any effort into connecting with their men and ultimately never commit to their husbands or the people they say they love in their relationships. So let me get back over to the article and we're going to go through it. So, first paragraph. When I first met Doug on Match.com in 2005, we were 26 and living in Washington, D.C., both recently out of serious relationships, both working long hours at jobs we loved. He had a big position with a top financial firm, which, of course, I'm sure she enjoyed because that means he was making a ton of money that she could probably end up using for herself later on. Okay. I headed up public relations for a non-healthcare nonprofit. This is typical with a lot of women working at nonprofits. On our first date, although we only kissed, he told me I wouldn't be the same when he was done with me. I knew he was right. I just didn't know what it meant. Neither of us did. Doug was tall and with dark eyes and dark hair, but it wasn't his looks that glued me. A recent business school graduate, he was smart, confident, and witty. We had talked for hours about politics, sports, and though he commented on how amazing our chemistry was, how amazing I was, he held back emotionally. Control. He had it always. We dated for a few months and had intense, if in retrospect, vanilla sex. There was a magnetic pull between us. Only the attraction swallowed me. I became uncharacteristically needy and it pushed him away. Months went by after we had broken up, but I couldn't get Doug out of my head. I began having fantasies about him like I never had about anyone. I wanted him to overpower me. I'd heard about BDSM, bondage and discipline, domination and submission, sadism and masochism, which is, BDSM, but didn't know much about it. Curious about my feelings, I did some research online. One site showed women being bound and whipped. Another showed a girl on the floor with a man standing over her who she belonged to. The answer? Him, of course. It all turned me on, but I felt confused. Wasn't it weird that I, a proud feminist, and this is key here, a proud feminist, see, here's the thing. A lot of women, they'll say they're feminists, they're strong, and they're all this bullshit, but they still want to submit. But the problem is, they never allow themselves to submit to the men in their lives. And they never allow themselves to fully commit to the men in their lives, even though it's extremely easy to do so if you just put in a little bit of effort. But anyway, I digress. Back to the article. A proud feminist can enjoy something so degrading? I would never stay with a man who hurt me, so how could I enjoy this? Still, I kept exploring. And see, this is another thing. Something so degrading, she says. How could I stay with a man who hurt me? See, the thing is, a lot of women are attracted to degradation. They're attracted to degrading behavior. They're attracted to pain. They mistake a longing for pain as love. Okay, so in a few clicks on another popular site, I found Doug's profile, which was the guy in the beginning. I was initially shocked, and yet it made perfect sense. That was our connection. I messaged him. I didn't know you had this side of you. Wink, wink. At first, we casually texted, catching up on each other's lives. He finished an Ironman triathlon, and I started working on a business plan to venture out on my own. Our shared interest in BDSM came up slowly in emails and on the phone. He joked about making me scream, and I'd say confidently, bring it. Or he'd forward articles of videos of BDSM research he'd done. I learned that BDSM is more than rough sex. In a D's dominant, submissive relationship, you have to trust each other emotionally, mentally, spiritually. While a dominant or dom may have the power, he can only go as far as the submissive or sub will let him. It's not abuse, it's consensual. Doug would text, how do you feel about a belt? Could you trust me to do anything to you? Almost a year after our first date, Doug came to my house to try BDSM. We settled on opposite sofas, and I was a fidgety, nervous mess. What if I didn't like the pain as much as the idea of it? Then Doug stood up, towering over me, and grabbed a fistful of my hair. He ordered me to perform oral sex, but that first time wasn't really about sex. It was about seeing if I'd be obedient. He used the belt, leaving welts on my back, thighs, and bottom. I could hear him pacing behind me, but I never knew when the lick of leather was coming. It hurt like hell, but I was utterly turned on. I had no control, and I loved it. Afterward, I cried, overwhelmed by how raw it all was. We met a couple more times for similar sessions, but then I pulled away. I was freaked out, not by the pain, but how intense my feelings were for him. See, and this is the thing. See, women will do that too. Like, women will have like an intense, they'll have like an intense experience with a dude. Like, he'll make her come like 5 times in a row, make her squirt or something like that. He'll try some BDSM on her. He'll try like other techniques, and it'll make her have like this emotional release. And then the girl will like disappear. You know, a lot of women, from my point of view, they just can't handle it. Instead of communicating like they always say they want to do, and talk to the guy and say, look, you know, this has been a really raw experience for me. I'm feeling these emotions. I'm trying to digest these emotions. Let's talk about it, and let's just try to understand try to help me understand what's going on here, and let's take it from there. Instead of using communication like women always say they want, they never do that. They always like bounce and try to run. Anyway, so that's what she did. So, carrying on, nearly 2 years passed before I saw him again. We had both gotten married, gotten on with our lives. My husband and I renovated our house. I traveled to India and Australia with friends, and my business boomed. Meanwhile, I tried to suppress this thing between Doug and me. When Doug texted he was moving to Boston for a big promotion, I agreed to meet him for a drink. See, and here's the fuckery that women do. Now, she knew she was still attracted to this guy. She knew that. So why would she then go and meet up with Doug for a drink if she knew that she was probably going to end up sleeping with this guy and rekindle some sort of relationship with this guy? This is the shady behavior patterns that women exhibit all the time. Now, this article doesn't bring light to how shady this woman is. What it does, it actually glorifies her actions and basically entices other women to enjoy this type of deceit that she is exhibiting right now. All right, so agreed to meet him for a drink. I told my husband, with whom I share a very honest relationship, that I was going to see an ex for closure. So she lied to her husband. She knew what was going to happen, but she told him, but she didn't tell him. This is what women do. Women always tell half-truths. Instead of just saying, look, there's this guy. This is what she should have done. Sat down with him like, look, I know this guy, Doug. We did this BDSM stuff. I feel connected to him. And like he touched a spot in me that no other man has ever touched to me, including you, husband. And I really want you to know this. And I want to go see him. To be honest, I really want to go see him. But I respect you as my husband too much to hurt you and do something like that to you. So I'm not going to do it. That's what a real woman would have done. But anyway. But as soon as Doug and I laid eyes on each other, that dark connection was still there. He walked me to my car and we kissed. Then he told me to take off my pants. I obeyed. We were right back in it. He left for Boston with his wife the next morning, so this was a shady motherfucker too. So let's look at it if he had been MGTOW, this other guy that she's cheating on, Doug. Now Doug is married. I don't know what the fuck for. If he was a MGTOW guy, basically what he could do is he could have had sex with this woman that he's doing the BDSM love affair with, pumped and dumped her, and then been with his wife now instead of getting married. And basically having affairs that pretty much are going to ruin the relationship. He could just be with her whenever he needed to be with her. Let her go along her merry way. Don't rope her into a committed relationship when he doesn't feel like he's going to be committed. And do his BDSM stuff on the side and still run his companies or whatever. He could have like the best of both worlds. Instead of being with a committed person and then cheating on his wife with some trollop. That's why MGTOW is freedom. But anyway, let's get back to it. Then he told me to take off my pants. I obeyed. We were right back in it. He left for Boston to see his wife, blah, 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 blah. And just like that, our long distance extra marital D relationship began. So she started a relationship with this guy. This trollop started a relationship with this guy. So in black font text and quotation marks, it says a sub is intoxicated by the surrender and not because he or she is weak. A sub is willing to go to a place many people do not or cannot go. Back to the relationship, extramarital affair with 500 miles between us. We're in contact over email, text, and Skype. Because BDSM is about so much more than just sex, Doug can still be my dom from afar, focusing more on psychological control. I'll text that I'm going for a run and he'll tell me I can't. Over Skype, he'll watch me get close to orgasm and make me stop. Or he won't speak to me because with the distance, it's one of the ways I can feel the sting of his decision. We know what we're doing isn't fair to our spouses, but fortunately for me, I'm able to be honest with my husband about Doug. We went through counseling a few years ago and agreed to have an open marriage. That's where, see, this trollop had her husband. And now remember, in another one of my videos, I talk about women want it both ways, right? They want to have a sucker, a boyfriend or a husband, generally that they can be with, that he'll do all the heavy lifting for her. And then she'll go out and cheat with some BDSM guy or whatever. She'll be, the thing is what women want. Women want to be single some days, and then they want to be married some days. But they always want a sucker and a boyfriend or a relationship that will do the heavy lifting while they go out and live the life that they want to live. And most of the times they'll manipulate the person that she's with. Like basically she's manipulating this guy. They went to counseling. Then she convinced him that they should have an open marriage. A trollop. We went through counseling a few years ago. I agreed to have an open marriage. I love my husband. I love having sex with him, but in an entirely different way. Doug is my dark. It's my dark, and my husband is my light. For Doug, it's not that easy. His wife has no idea about this side of him. See, now Doug is a simp basically. He's a simp male who can't be honest about what he wants. See, one of the good things about MGTOW is that you can be honest about what you want. It's man going your own way. So you tell people, like, look, I'm into BDSM, I'm into this bondage thing. Hey, you don't like it? Fuck you, I'm going my own way. But Doug still has that blue pill simp type of nature where he's just like, man, I gotta keep this under wraps. I'm gonna go ahead and marry this woman, even though I'm cheating on her, where I could destroy her life, my life, everybody else's life around me. But hey, as long as I get my thrill every once in a while, I'm good. Very selfish behavior. And very selfish behavior on the part of this woman in this article. Okay, back at it. Recently, I flew to Boston for a long weekend when Doug's wife was out of town. He arrived at my hotel and made me sit on my knees while he spanked me with his belt. Even though we have a safe word, I never used it. In a D's relationship, you need to trust another human being in ways that are rarely explored. A dom is intoxicated by someone who is willing to trust him or her that much. A sub is intoxicated by the surrender, and not because he or she is weak. The sub is willing to go to a place many people do not or cannot go. The physical pain is just a small part of it, and surviving it, enduring it, is a feat. I know it's weird, but I feel like if I can do it, I can do anything. I didn't tell any of my friends about Doug for nearly 4 years. I just didn't want to be judged. Yeah, you didn't want to be judged. You're a troller. You're a deceitful woman. You're a person who should be ashamed of her actions. And this is what men talk about all the time. Just imagine if you're a dude, you're working hard, and your woman won't open up to you about BDSM. She won't put any effort into exploring tantra sex or anything that will make her bond, make a connection between you and her. And then she goes out and puts all the effort into some other dude. And then you're paying for her lifestyle, and she's just lying to you any chance that she can get. That's female nature, my friends. Okay. They couldn't believe that I like being bossed around, that I allowed a man to hit me. This is her talking to her friends. I explained that in normal life, Doug would never hurt a woman. He even donates to a battered woman's shelter. The typical woman trying to make excuses. One day at lunch, I showed my best friend some texts from Doug. She got really upset by the controlling things he wrote, like telling me what to wear to work. And when I revealed that he had a wife, she was totally disgusted, as she should be. If that was my friend, I'd be like, hey, man, see you later, bro. Like that dude, Doug, I'd be like, hey, man, yo, I gotta go. I can't be around a shady dude like that. Because if that guy's going to be shady like that with his wife, just imagine if you open up like a store with this dude. He'd probably end up like stealing all your money. Anyway, we've been friends for 18 years and she had been my maid of honor, but we haven't talked in nearly a year. Good for you. You don't need trollops in your life like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm someone's dirty little secret. Doug is now full-on conservative businessman. Conservative businessman. That's why guys don't fall for that conservative liberal bullshit that people in society always use to try to divide men and have them fight each other. At the very end of it, you'll notice with most people that those labels are just a label. People are going to follow their deepest, darkest desires, irregardless. But anyway, that's another topic. He lives in a huge house in a fancy Boston suburb. He plays golf, flies planes, runs marathons. As embarrassing as it is to admit, he's a lot like Christian Grey, the man from that stupid movie, 50 Shades of Grey. And he has a perfect Stepford-looking wife, but the truth is I feel bad for him. I couldn't imagine leading a double life like he does. And I do feel guilty about his wife. And here we go. Here's the selfishness of female nature. How she doesn't care. Yet selfishly, my main concern is protecting him and our relationship. See, and this is what I'm talking about with female nature. At the core of female nature, it is self-centered, selfish. It's all about the woman. How do I feel? Not how does my husband feel? How do my kids feel? How do my friends feel? How is this destroying the people around me? Nope, 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 nope. If it feels good to me, then it must be good, and therefore I'm going to make up any excuse, lie, deceitful thing I can to justify my actions. Okay. I love the 50 Shades of Grey. I love that 50 Shades of Grey has gotten women talking more honestly about their fantasies, but I hate that the book perpetuates the notion that a dom must be messed up to be in this kind of sex. Well, Doug is messed up. Doug is cheating on his wife, doing all this bullshit, not being honest with her, and then telling you what to wear to work and all this stuff. People who aren't in the BDSM world think that doms and subs are broken people. Well, Doug sounds broken. You sound broken too. You can't be honest with your husband. He can't be honest with his wife. All right. Subs supposedly have no backbone, have daddy issues. I am completely alpha at home and work. I have 2 full-time employees, and I'm a bossy boss. Bad right there. Bossy boss, which generally is translation for a shitty supervisor, overly dominant person at work. Subs are not doormats. We are just expressing darker sides of ourselves the way everyone else probably has some fetish they're afraid to share. Last week I got home from a weekend with Doug in Boston. This trollop just doesn't quit. I don't know how much longer we can go with the distance and his sneaking around, but I can't imagine my life without Doug. Without this in it. For now, I'm comforted by the scenes I play over and over in my head. The way he walked into the room last night and pinched me so hard that I inhaled deeply and tried to cry out. What should I do to you for making me wait, he asked. Anything you want, I answered, and I meant it. What a whore. What a whore. That's the end of it. Let me get back over to my notes. This woman, man, that's just despicable. Despicable. I know this video is longer than normal, but we're going to touch on a few short points here before I end the video. But see, this is the problem with women. They never commit to the people in their life. She could have easily connected with her man. This is what she should have done. She should have went to him and said, look, I'm having this, I like this guy, Doug, but instead of having an affair with Doug, which I know I probably will do, husband, I'm being honest with you, I like the BDSM that he does to me. But instead of doing what he does, instead of trying to mimic Doug, the BDSM world is huge. There's a whole array of things you can do. I've read about BDSM. I mean, I've done some things where I made the girl beg to make her come and stuff like that. I'm not tooting my horn, but I dabbled in a little bit in it, and I understand that feeling of when you're the dominant person, how good it feels. But then again, like I said, getting a woman to submit is a waste of time, because ultimately she's just gonna leave anyway, or she'll meet somebody else and she'll make some excuse and she'll leave or whatever, just like that this girl did earlier on. But the thing is, all she had to do was talk to the guy and say, look, I like this BDSM thing. Let's explore it together. Let's try this avenue of BDSM. You got like the BDSM, you got like this Japanese rope style where you tie the woman up. You have the one where it's kind of like artsy, where she's hanging or whatever. It's artsy. Then you have the one where you can like hit the girl or hit the boy or whatever. You got that. You got hypno BDSM. You got all sorts of type of stuff. So she could have easily. Then you got tantra, Now, tantra, you try tantra where you look and gaze into someone's eyes and hold them and kiss them lightly and whatever. That in itself can create a connection between you and your partner that can go a long way to emulate the connection you have with that guy, Doug, and pretty much go far beyond that to where you can connect and truly submit to the person in your life. There's so many things you can do if you're willing to put in effort. But see, the thing is, a lot of women aren't willing to put in that effort. They run from it because they know if they truly connect to that person, that they can't leave that person high and dry, that they actually have to really love that person that they're with. You see, this lady in this article, she didn't love her husband, out there cheating on the dude and trying to have an open relationship. She didn't love that guy. She wanted to have her cake, like I said, women do all the time, and eat it too. She wanted to be able to fuck random dudes when she wanted to, try different experiments, so sex experiments when she wanted to, and she wanted to have some dude waiting on her, a simp, that whenever, the other people weren't around, she could just go back to him. That ain't love. You're just using people. A lot of women don't understand love. They can't love. When you talk to them about tantra, you talk to them about connecting, they can't connect. You're like, damn, what's up with this girl? How come she can't connect? She can't connect. And she doesn't know why she can't connect. And then she'll end up getting mad at you because she doesn't want to put the effort in. What a trollop. Disgusting. Well, that's female nature, and I just wanted to do this video. It's a long video, I understand, but I want to get this out. I wanted to break down how submission, men go after submission and it's a waste of time. How a woman's nature always wins out. How ultimately women can't connect. They can't commit. And how, hopefully this will illuminate how you, if you know these things about women, so that you don't get taken advantage of. Because there's a million guys out there like that who have women like this person in this article who thinks it's cool to go out and fuck dudes like Doug instead of being open and honest in her communication, talking to her husband and committing and connecting on a whole different level. But anyways, that's my soapbox for today. If you like this video, subscribe, give a thumbs up, share with your friends. Man, this article really pissed me off. And I got some more good articles coming up too from Cosmo Magazine if you really want to see how female nature is. But yeah, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll talk to you later, guys. What's up, guys? I'm back with something very, very important.